Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning, right?
I am John Palacio.
And I'm April Martinez. Good
And
morning.
thank you for joining us this
Yes,
morning.
thank you.
Oi,
It's very rainy.
yeah.
Wet.
It like for outside, like the weather is confused.
It's
like you got some sun
gloomy.
at the corner, then you got some rain over there. You know, remember that God and devil the fight situation?
Yeah.
That's the way it seemed here in the city. There's some sun over that corner, then there's rain over there, then drizzle in another corner there. But that's just the way it
It
is.
rained in Belmont Panto, and it was raining on the way coming. And,
Oh man.
and then I thought it was going to be fine, and then Hattieville made it rain again, and then coming into the city, 8 Mile, it rain again. You know what? It's going to be a rainy day. I feel I'm predicting the weather already.
You know, I'll tell you what, this world was actually made to suit everything that we've got in here. I tell a lot of people, you know, in order to plant rice,
Yeah.
you need a flooded area.
Flooded water.
Rice does not grow in an area of drought. No. But look upon the sugar cane situation.
Yeah.
You know, it needs less water for us to get sugar cane to grow. You know, but a lot of water for for rice to grow. You know, so like so I think it curtails itself, and this is the reason why I'm thankful every day. Everything has its meaning. A lot of times you'd see ants actually going up.
That's how you know
because
it
whether they
rain.
come,
That's how you know it
so,
rain.
you know, look at the lessons of life, or look at all the signs of life, and you'll get to greatly appreciate what we've got in this world, April.
I like that, John.
Beautiful
You've
weather.
done
I
the
can tell you that
motivate this
much.
morning.
Yeah, man. You know, it's all about motivating each other. I always say that everybody is everybody's asset. What I learn and what I could dispense to you is something that you learn and then you dispense to somebody else. It's the circle of life.
Oh,
You know,
there you go.
and so that's why I'm so thankful for it. But primarily the order of duty, while we continue to motivate you on a daily basis, is actually to tell you, some of the notices, or some of the stories that were in the newscast last night. Riddle, of course, with crime situation, leadership, gang intervention because of the situation that's occurring there, or that's unfolding in the St. Martin's, the poorest area. But I tell you what, while it affects our country and the people wholeheartedly, and of course on the international scene, people are actually looking at these things because people read the news before they come to these countries,
Yes.
so they know what to, when to, and how to, and where not to go. I still feel though that one of the big stories from last night, April, is the story of the KHMH. I've got
Oh,
it right here.
yes.
Yes. I alluded to this one because I know that it is great news. I'm about great news, but always be cognizant of that you might feel is not great. So yesterday, the KHMH announced that its cardiac program is now reopened for persons with heart conditions who need medical attention. April, we all know that the cardiac situation, one of the leading cause of death within our country.
Yes.
But it continues. It continues to say over the last decade, through this speciality, hundreds of Belizeans have benefited from the cardiovascular service, but was put on hold over the last 2 years. And what they were doing was that they were doing some refurbishment
They were
of the area
upgrading the
and
equipment.
upgraded that particular area, and of course trying to get people to understand the machines and how to carry on.
Train the people them
yes,
to use it.
Yes,
I think
indeed.
it's a great initiative on behalf of the Hyman Foundation and so forth, and contributing with KHMH, because you've said it just right. Here in Belize, one of our leading killers is diabetes and high blood pressure.
Hypertension, all these things, yes.
Right, that would lead to failed hearts. And we don't think about those things because we have so many underlying diseases and so forth that take fold. But most, if not often, people die from a heart attack
Yeah.
here, right? And we don't have, well, we didn't have the necessary equipment to one, deal with that situation of hypertension and clogged arteries and so forth. And then two, we don't necessarily educate the population on what to do if somebody were to start having a heart attack in front of you.
Yeah.
And those are basic small trainings that you don't have to be a doctor for, you know, apply some level of CPR or you know, try to see if you could jumpstart the heart with, you know, your equipment that you have at home. So stuff like this, I think, is helpful for us as a population to seek to, I guess, help out the health services that we have here in the country, because at the end of the day, we only have about 3 or 4 specialists that can do
that can do these things.
And it is a step forward, right? Because then you no longer have to go outside of Belize to get these kinds of services. But at the same time, how costly will it be to the average Belizean to get this service?
I love that you said that, because one of the things that they had mentioned in the news is that this service is now here at home. But a lot of people actually refer to our neighbors, either Mexico or Guatemala, if they'd like advanced services such as this one. But now we're actually seeing these services at home. Look, I'll tell you what, I use the KHMH services because I'm so proud of what's there. I'm so proud of our country being a developing one and new things starting to trickle in. For the most part, we'd lash out because of what we see in first world media or what we see in first world countries, and hoping that our country is going to be there. It's not the snip of a finger, and everybody must have the buy-in in order for our country to get there. That is what we're seeing at this particular point, with the KHMH being equipped now with such machinery. Now, you're not able to, or you don't have to, or you no longer have to spend that amount of money heading over to the neighbor. You could actually get these services here at home. And there's so many other services at the KHMH that people might not know about, or your reluctance because of what you see in the news or what one person would see.
One bad experience.
One bad experience. You'll have that. It's natural. It's normal.
It's a hospital.
It's a hospital.
Things happen.
Exactly. But these services are now being rendered right here at home, saving you money, and we've gotten people who we are able to trust to do it. And so that's the reason why I felt that, you know what, this was a great story to actually share this morning, because it is something that benefits all of us, and it is extremely positive for us here at home.
What I think about it in these kinds of instances, it's a good motivator. You know, whenever we look at the students that graduate out of these universities, we always wonder, and a lot of them graduate with biochem degrees, med lab degrees, all of these degrees that they want to continue pursuing a career in medicine, but might not necessarily have enough experience during their school time to, you know, to do these kinds of trainings. Something like this is excellent because it shows that when they're done, they might have a place to go to continue. I like that.
Exactly. And that is where, that's how I feel that we're supposed to be moving forward to.
Definitely.
You know, it's like, I can remember moving into my house, April, I had nothing. And a lot of people would tell you that because that is their experience. But your house is actually a skeleton. What you do is that you continue to build muscle on it. And that's what we're seeing with our National Referral Hospital and other hospitals across this country. I know, bam, everything want in there. It's you get this, you build on it, you
slowly progress.
Yes.
Slowly progress.
Exactly. That's where I see us going. And there's one more thing. That's a piece of the pie. There's one more thing that I like to touch on before, because I know with the interest of time. But I've got to say kudos to Dr. Dylan Vernon, as you know, he launched his book yesterday, and it says the book actually looks at political clientelism and democracy.
We had him here yesterday.
And I actually saw the segment, but it is important for people to know, this is how I feel about politics, man. You know, I don't feel that we are supposed to be, and this is just my opinion, I'm not one for party endorsement or color endorsement. I believe that when we do that, we actually put ourselves we contribute to clientelism that we come into, you know. And I feel that what he highlights on yesterday's show, and what he highlighted in the news last night, is a perfect example of what we are supposed to be listening to, reading to, before we pick the people who we feel are fit and best to actually lead us forward in this country and for the future?
You know, I was at the book launch and I told him it doesn't feel like a book launch. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those, but
I've been to one.
Just talking about the book and giving a summary of the book and then telling people buy it. Right, that's what a usual book launch looks like.
Some food.
And eat some food afterwards. But this one was particularly special in the sense that he had other people read the book beforehand and do their own review, ask their questions to him, right? So that maybe the audience can get a feel of what the back and forth conversation would look like once the person reads the book.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then he took questions from the audience, he took questions from the media afterwards, and it became this long discourse of how are we going to move forward now that we know all of this, now that we've unpacked all of this, now that we're trying to progress as a country. So I told him it was like this enlightening conversation.
It should have been.
Yes, because we don't talk about these things. We're afraid to talk about these things. And we talk about it in the sense of that just culture.
Yeah.
So and nothing not change. And no, this is telling you this is what it is for what it is.
Yeah.
And this is why we should be trying to change our culture.
Because politicians are not supposed to be paying people for their votes.
No.
And people, you're not supposed to be taking money to vote. Not because dire situations. Look, when you take money, you actually keep your situation right there. No? You keep your situation right there because you're not being taught how to fish. You're actually being given a fish. And so therefore, what do you do afterwards? They say, do not feed. Like, okay, you've been to the water side and it says, do not feed the alligator.
Yeah.
Because the moment you feed that alligator,
get used to you,
yes, and it sees you and it wants food, but at the same time, you're actually disrupting its nature because its nature is to go on out hunt and continue to move on. It's the same for me, April, with respect to how we're living. You have to teach me what to do, or I am to learn what to do, and then continue throughout my life with that, and learn new things as we progress.
This is how I see it, right? And this is why I often wonder where we went wrong in terms of teaching people about politics, because the reality is that the government is a public service.
Yes.
Right? And therefore, our tax dollars employ those in government. They're like our employer, the payee, right? And then we know the employer now is asking us back for services or monies to give them from the same money that then the pay for.
Which in reality is our money.
Yes,
which in reality is our money.
Which makes sense. So I like, how is it that we changed that direction of, okay, I placed you in power. These are the services that you're supposed to provide for me based on the law, right? And now I am going to therefore break the law and have you break the law so that you can provide to me personally from the stuff that I give you to provide me already.
Yes,
it does not make no sense.
Yeah, you know, totally right. And I'll tell you what, that is a conversation that needs to be. We need to sit down and flesh that out. And we need young people to come on up to talk about it so they're cognizant of what to and what not to do in terms of dealing with politics.
Yeah.
A whole new morning show.
A whole new morning show.
Speaking of a whole new morning show, it is the morning after, and we're talking about KTV the Remix. You hear it?
I listened to some of them and then I realized that the disco is probably not my genre anymore.
Really?
I like it at a certain point. I loved the costumes.
Costumes were...
I loved every single one of them wore a costume. The froze were on, the bottom bells were on, the high shoes were on. Look at Keenan over there. It was great. It was...
I could fit in a one of their pants leg.
I believe you could fit in a one of them.
I swear.
I believe it. And all of them were shiny and shimmery, and they definitely got into the character that they were playing. It was great.
I really love and respect this show for the fact that it actually takes people from out of their character, out of their comfort, and put them into something else. And you'd surprised to know how mentally it builds them, their confidence. All of these things.
Because a lot of them are good singers. A lot of them sing really, really well. But sometimes, you know, it's one thing to sing and it's another thing to sing and entertain.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really like to see, like, look at that. Everybody had a fro. Everybody had like one of the long, big shirt and a boogie. And you know, for some of them, they had to step out of the comfort zone because they had to demand the stage, they had to command the stage with their character.
Yeah.
And Jenny and you
The
know
judge,
Chris
yeah.
and Alex, they all made certain points to, all right, you could sing, but as soon as you move or try to do, you lose concentration, right? And so it's this balance of entertainment and
dance.
keeping your vocals
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. So honestly, I enjoyed the costumes. They were fantastic. But they also had 2 eliminations again last night.
Oh my
And of
God.
course, they're going to continue having those eliminations as the show progresses. The ending of this season is the end of August.
Yeah.
So we have 4 more weeks of KTV to go.
All right.
And next week's genre is
Pop. All right.
pop, but they never give one a year.
They
so
never
I
give one a
really
year, so you've gotta-
wonder, you have a
Well,
large...
primarily your Google.
Your
Find
Google.
some pop and see which one and then you
Your
could pop
Google.
some. All right. That's what you need to do. But you check out our social media pages to find out what to do in terms of how to vote and whatnot. And if you've got your favorite from last night, make sure that you try to vote them in so they could entertain you again
Submit
for
their
next week,
their
Tuesday.
their number to the smart number, and you're able to cast your vote. Vote daily. You can vote more than one time. Vote.
Yeah.
Make your dog vote. Make your cat vote. Make everybody vote. If you don't want to see your favorite contestant eliminated,
Make your dog vote, no? That's my vote.
my dog will use a cell phone. Yours can.
Me here, you might get good and could too. But anyways, we need to move on, continue to motivate you throughout the day and give you, that jump start of a conversation. And we're going to do that by providing you now with the eye opener taken from dailyom.com. And it goes like this. Knowing where you came from helps bridge the gulf that divides your past from your future. Oh, that's deep, Rico. Check this out. Now, each of us is a piece of a larger puzzle. We're all born into the unique, complex network of individuals, settings, and circumstances that constitutes our heritage. Whether or not you are aware of your ancestors, the cultural history of your people, or the trials faced by the people responsible for bringing you into the world, these forces have had a hand in shaping your values. Knowing your family history and reflecting often upon your own personal history as it relates to your heritage empowers you to look at your life in a larger historical context and to understand that you are a vital part of an ongoing drama greater than yourself. In researching our individual histories, however, we may encounter relatives who made interesting choices or were involved in traumatic events. It's easy to overestimate the importance of these pieces of our past and to cling to them. Balance is key. While your heritage has influenced the development of the person you are today, you're more than an ethnicity, more than a culture or a family name. You should not feel driven to alter your likes and dislikes, your dreams, your preferences, or values because you feel your heritage demands it. Knowing your history is about loving who you are, understanding where you've come from, and preparing you for your future.
So I really like this eye opener for several
Why?
reasons. Several reasons, and it is largely in the light that you can't have self-pride, you can't have civic pride, you can't even have pride for those around you or with those around you if you don't understand who you are.
Who you are.
And yes, it says that your heritage shouldn't influence a lot of things, but the reality is that it does drive you to a certain extent, right? It's one of the reasons why you are accustomed to doing certain things. It's the reason why, maybe perhaps not by your ethnicity, culture, or religion, but it does influence your motives. It does provide you senses with morals. And if you don't have that, you don't necessarily have anything to feel proud of. Or you don't have that drive to do more, to be better, right? And the more you know about it, you don't have to be engulfed in your heritage or anything like that to continue forward. But if you, John Palacio, right, didn't know your background in any way, shape, or form, do you think that you would be here right now sitting?
That's one great question, April.
right?
That's a good question. It provides for thought. You know, it provides for things to actually think about. I believe that destiny is. But you're totally right, because knowing where you came from actually bridges the gulf that divides your past from your future.
I think that it helps you to feel certain things. It helps you to feel proud for certain things. You know, knowing the trials and tribulations of your grandparents, your great-grandparents, it makes you feel that you as a person need to carry that torch forward, and that is a huge motivator. If you don't have that, you don't really know what you're fighting for. You know.
And you know, I as you spoke about that, you know, I think about certain countries where like where their cultural values, you know, and in our country, while we're diverse, we've got a lot of that, and that's how we're trying to carry things on, knowing who you actually is or who you are, but it's a great conversation to have, April, because people should understand this. So when it comes to the eye-opener, I always try to keep it with me, because I actually read it over to try and understand exactly where it's coming from. But sum it up by saying, knowing where you came from helps bridge the gulf that divides your past from your future. That's a great eye-opener for this morning. Have the conversation. You might have picked up some friends heading from Belmopan into Belize City. You know, somebody might be on their device watching right now. Have the conversation as you drive along.
I agree. I like that, you know, whenever you want to get to know somebody, or whenever you see somebody, you're like, where are you from? And they tell you, and then they're like, who are your parents? Who are your grandparents? And then you're like, oh, I know.
Your roots are from Hopkins.
Yes, and then that in itself already opens the floor to so many conversations.
All right. Well, that's a good one. It's that time of the morning. We move on to let you know exactly what the weather is like. We spoke dimly about it this morning, because here in the city, we had some rain here, some rain there, and rain elsewhere.
It rained.
But let's see who we've got on the line as we speak. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
As I hear you, I want to sing one song.
Good morning, neighbor.
Morning, neighbor.
Good morning.
It's always nice to hear from you. But the weather in Belize, it is sort of confusing. What's going on? Let's start with the general situation, and then we go from there.
Okay, John and April, we have a relatively moist and unstable easterly airflow that is dominating our weather now. And what that will do for us today is to give us sunny skies with cloudy intervals. High temperatures will range from 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 92 inland and 82 over the mountains. Tonight, we can expect partly cloudy skies with low temperatures of 80 along the coast, 74 inland and 68 in the higher elevation. A few showers and thunderstorms will continue to develop mainly along coastal areas this morning, and then by afternoon the shower activity will decrease, and we develop tonight mainly over the southern districts. So last night into this morning we have several outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms that affected mainly the southern parts of the country and over the inland areas. Up north and over Belize got basically just isolated activity. But we expect these activities to remain along the coast this morning and then decrease by this afternoon. As I said, it's unstable easterly airflow, so that's the type of wind we are having right now. The wind is blowing from the east at 5 to 15 knots, and we have choppy seas. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for partly cloudy skies, with a few morning showers or thunderstorms that we expect to develop mainly over southern areas, and elsewhere, the rest of the country, we expect the shower activity to be isolated. In our sargassum forecast, we expect that more sargassum mats, or we forecast that more sargassum mats will continue to affect our beaches during the coming days. And in the tropical weather outlook, for the North Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the next 48 hours.
You know,
even for the next 5 days.
You sound
give me good news.
Peaceful,
give me good news.
Peaceful and tranquil while you mentioned that a while ago. I like
yes,
that.
Of course. That's the thing, Belizeans always at this time of the year want to know if anything coming out there. So it's always good to tell them that no tropical cyclone formation is expected.
I'll call you back on Friday so that you can tell me that my weekend will be sunny.
Pardon me?
We'll give you a buzz back on Friday so we know exactly what to expect for the weekend. Remember a big international fest and this and that, you know.
Yes, man. Yes,
Yeah.
man. Well, I'm far as I see for up to Saturday and Sunday, we expect that for Saturday, shower activity will be generally isolated. We expect some afternoon inland thunderstorm that won't affect the Keys because that is for inland, like along the Guatemala-Belize borders, we expect inland activity. And for Sunday, we expect a few daytime showers or thunderstorms to occur, mainly along the coast and decreasing by evening.
Love
It's
it.
good weather. If you want to party in the weather, it's nice. It don't mean
Thank
nothing
you.
significant that you can't party, man.
Neighbor, thank you so very much for joining us this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you too, my
Have a
neighbor.
great
Have
day.
a great day and stay safe.
I love it.
Yes,
I
now we
love
know.
it when she gives me good news. That's Catherine Cumberbatch, always to give me good news.
All right,
All right,
we're so
John. So,
grateful.
where you're cutting the hat socks to tell me about the show for this?
Well, I'll tell you what, my cat in the hat sack. Hey! Yeah, my cat in the hat sack is actually telling me that the first segment is going to be about building literacy, leadership in Belize. That's a great conversation. Every time it comes, once it comes to education, that's a conversation that we need to have. That's the first one for this
Constantly.
morning.
And of course, our second conversation, I know that we're thinking over, right? But it's not over. So we have in the folks from the Ministry of Health and Wellness this morning to talk to us about a extensive COVID-19 update, which is an important conversation to have. So please tune in for the second segment.
That's right. And for the third one, this one is all about Hope for Belize. Yes, Hope for Belize Woodcock Stock Benefit Concert.
Love it.
What's going to be there? Who will be a part of this concert and how you could be a part of it? That's going to be the third conversation this morning. It's going to be a great one. You want to stay with us because we're live on 5. We're going to take the break, but just before we do, I'd like to pay tribute and give appreciation for what we've got and for what we have. V, thank you so very much. And I'm going to reverse exactly what she says here. It's Wednesday. You're breathing, you're healthy, you're truly blessed. You're grateful for another day, or you should be grateful for another day. That's by V. We're going to take the break. When we come back, we've got the first segment rocking for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new SmartStream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, SmartStream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with SmartStream.
Medriva is the safest and most reliable taxi service 24/7 countrywide. Get to your destination on time. No more calling. Just pin your location or schedule your ride and a Medriva driver will be at your doorstep. Whether you're going to work or picking up a loved one, there are 3 categories to choose from: budget, economy, Island Lux. Try our services today and earn loyalty points on each ride to get cashback deals on your next ride, or sign up to be a Medriva driver. Just be sure to have your police record on hand. Transportation services at your fingertips. Download the app today. Medriva, opening doors to new opportunities.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Yo, this is Super G the General, and I want to invite you all to the
Belize International Music and Food Festival.
That will be held for 2 nights, July 30th
and the 31st at Sakachispas Field.
It's Bobby insane.
Mr. Chipova, you. As you left my yard, tell me why you come back.
You know, it's yours truly, King Room Official.
It's your boy Stick the Artist.
My name is Clayton Williams.
It's your boy Dando.
Hi, my name is Deja.
TLC, baby.
Blessings, everybody. This is Original Coffee inviting you out to the Belize International Music and Food Festival in San Pedro. There will be me, many other artists. There will be enough music, enough food. So come out, enjoy yourself.
All young performers, it's your turn to take the stage. If you have the talent, we have the show for you. Here's your chance to perform in Belize's #1 children's talent show, Summerfest 2022. Singing, dancing, acting, whatever your talent, we want to see. Come audition on Thursday, August 4th and Friday, August 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at Channel 5 on Coney Drive. Auditions are open to all children under 18 in any performing art. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the show. It's Summerfest 2022.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today. Your Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 4.
KTV.
Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive at $3 for children and $5 for adults. Mask will be required. Or you can watch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure.
Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
And we're back. Welcome
are
back.
back.
And it's that time of the morning. We move on into our first segment. Now, this one is all about building literacy leadership in Belize. You know, I think that's a great conversation because, like we mentioned, every time we're about to talk about education, we know for a fact that it will hit home. It needs to. And we've got folks who will eventually let us know exactly what to, how to, and when to. In to talk to us, Dr. Jen Saunders. She's a professor of literacy at OSU. We also have two doctoral students in with us, Tanisha Ross and Rashid Murillo. Guys, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
I'll tell you what, it's nice to have you in.
Thank you for having us.
So,
Rashid said at first he was tired, but you noticed
but as soon as it brighten up, it lighten up, right? Because you understand how it works. So
that's how I know him. That's how I know him. But guys, you know, it's a very important conversation to have, building literacy. And I feel in order for country to develop, this is definitely one of the steps that must be had so people understand what we're talking about and how we continue to channel our country with respect to education. Let's talk about that, Dr. Jan. Tell us about the program and what it means, especially for you and your students.
Oh, thank you. We started this work around 2009. Leaders in Belize, education leaders in the ministry, reached out and contacted us, and they said, we want to continue improving literacy in Belize. It's a priority for us. And I was a fairly new professor at that time. I think that was my third year. And they said, who's interested in going to Belize to see how we might partner? And I was like, me? Sure, I'll go. So I came with a couple colleagues, and we got to meet people, meet teachers, meet education leaders, and start the partnership at that point. And we've been working ever since in different capacities and on different ways to try to improve the expertise within Belize, so that people from the outside don't have to keep coming in.
So can you give us a little bit more details of those capacities? Because I want to get into your separate researches, but just talk to us a little bit more about what you mean by that.
About what I mean by
the building the capacity.
Building the leadership. Yes. So there, in 2009 and even now, there weren't many people in the country who have expertise, who have a PhD in language, literacy, and culture. There are plenty of folks who are doing the work, but there aren't that many people who have that specialization, that deep expertise to understand the research, to understand the best practices, to understand the theory that supports good teaching. And to know which practices you're going to get the most leverage out of. And so we were doing smaller projects along the way, and we kept coming up with this question of how do we create a sustainable capacity within Belize so that Belizeans have the expertise within the country and aren't reliant on, professors from other education institutions to share that. And we thought we need professors in Belize who can train the teachers, because in some ways a lot of movements have to start bottom up, but then other ways some movements need to start top down. And this is one of those cases where if you don't have teacher educators who are trained with deep knowledge in language and literacy and the intersections of culture in those processes, then they're not training the teachers.
Yeah.
So then when the teachers go out, they don't have that beginning foundational knowledge
Yeah.
to be really teaching literacy and meeting all the needs of the students in the classroom. So that's how we got started.
Since you guys started in 2009, you had mentioned, how many teachers have been a part of the program?
Oh, well, I used to bring study abroad. I used to bring students for a study abroad project. So I would have teachers from Oklahoma. They were either pre-service, meaning they haven't started teaching yet, or they were in service, they were already experienced teachers. But I would bring 8 to 12 teachers each year, each time I came, and they would partner with teachers here in Belize, and we would co-teach together, and so they would learn from each other. You know, they, a lot of the Belizean teachers know the culture, the context. They, you know, and so my students would learn from them, and they would learn from my students. So we did that for 6 or 7 years over a time span, and then I did some professional development with teachers. Most of it was within Belize City in the more southern schools and in the south side of the city. And then we would do some professional development over the years, like in August when teachers come back for training. We did some literacy instruction then, and then that was when we started to rethink what we were doing and try to figure out, okay, this is a lot of work for not a big impact. How do we make a more sustainable, a bigger change? So yeah.
So I want to go into Tanisha and Rashid for a minute and talk to us about your experiences. Tell us about what it's like working with the Oklahoma State University. And I really want to get into your respective research because it's all about literacy and they both impact culture.
Indeed.
Right? So Tanisha, your thoughts, and then Rashid.
Or primarily, why did you even want to be a part of this program?
Okay. Well, when we saw the call in 2019, of course, it stuck out because it was pertaining to literacy. And since I used to teach at the high school, there was where I noticed a gap. There was where I noticed the need for literacy. And so I progressed from there and I became an administrator. And I also realized that the need still exists. And so when the call came for us to be a part of the cohort or to sign up, I was there. And I signed up, and it's very important for me because I want to be an agent to try to close in the gap that I see happening here in our country.
Rashid?
Actually, for me, I've known Dr. Saunders before the cohort because she worked at my school where I teach. Shout out to St. John's Anglican School. Yes, so I've been working with her and I felt that there was something missing, that I wanted to know more. There was a thirst to learn more. When she, like she said, when she came and we worked with their teachers and we learned a lot, I was interested in, okay, so what does that mean? How far does this go? When the opportunity came up in 2019, while I felt small to do it, I felt the call to enter. And it was a yes to learn more immediately, not only for myself, but the opportunity as to who I could help.
Of course.
When I'm finished with it.
So then talk to us about where your research is headed, because you're doing literacy, yes, but you are also pertaining to bringing in more of the minorities languages, more of the underlying, the neglected languages, I would say, into the education capacity. So talk to us about that.
Well, I can only speak for me. We have 18 really spectacular members of this cohort. And there are 18 different researches that we want to do and we are interested in. I am particularly interested in multicultural literature, which is like diverse literature for minorities, children of color. Why? Because I want better readers in our country. I know that the research says that we become better readers, or children can be better readers when they see themselves within the books they read, when they mirror themselves with the books that they read. So I remember as a child, I used to love Lucky Dip.
Yeah.
Animal, Birds and Fish.
Those books having children that look like me.
Look like you, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see them
Joy
anymore in
and
schools. When children see themselves, they get motivated.
That's true.
And it improves achievement in reading and excelling. So I can go on and on.
You should, you can, you have time.
But no, it's at the heart of my research. I really want to make an impact with literature to have children to see themselves in books.
Yeah.
And it's not only necessarily books. It can, texts on a whole, where they see themselves and they become better readers and become empowered from seeing themselves and show and advocate for themselves in representation.
Yeah.
And yourself?
So while we have others doing different spectrums based on the levels of education, my focus is on the leadership, and it comes because of the work that I do. Where when we go into schools, I do see some of the struggles that admin leaders for those schools would face, and so I thought that why not make it very practical?
Yeah.
You know, and I pay attention now to the leadership, and I want to be an agent for administrators, primary, secondary, tertiary, for them to know that there are certain skills, there are certain responsibilities that are expected of them as leaders to bring forth a culturally responsive environment in their schools, in their institutions, so that students can feel a part.
Yeah.
When, as Rashid mentioned, when students see themselves or feel as if though they are acknowledged, then that motivation is there. The motivation to succeed becomes necessary.
Yeah.
And so I want to be able to empower leaders to create an environment that is culturally responsive, that allows students to perform better.
You know what I love most of what you say, for what you've said, and Dr. Jen, I'm coming to you shortly, because I'd like for folks to know what are some of the other areas they could actually tap into. But primarily, when we think about education and we do anything about education, there is always an area that is missed. And so therefore, you tapping into that leadership role when it comes to administrative, people forget that there is a marriage between the two. If I'm not able to with the administrative area, then how am I going to educate the students? So that's a great area to actually tap into. Dr. Jen, what are some of the other areas that teachers who would like to be a part of this could actually tap into?
So the focus of the program overall is the intersection of language, literacy, and culture. And one of the beauties of Belize is that it's such a multicultural, multilingual society. And our cohort has really taken that sort of emphasis to heart. And we have students who are focusing on multilingualism in the classroom and how teachers can really draw upon those resources, the assets that students bring to the class as multilingual kids, multilingual readers and writers, and how do we support their literacy development as multilingual people. We have students who are focusing on writing development and writing instruction, thinking about what are some of those, we call them high leverage practices, the practices that you're going to get the most mileage out of, that are just really powerful in the classroom. And so they're looking at how teachers might focus more on place-based literacies. So using teachers and students using their community as a resource to learn how to read and write. So how can you interview businesses and business owners within a community and learn what matters to them, and maybe how can they do some social writing, how can they write for the newspaper, how can they get a message out that the kids care about, so they're doing real writing in the world that's going to make an impact and that's going to make a difference. And it doesn't just stay in the classroom. A lot of times you just do some writing and you turn it into the teacher and nobody else looks at it. So we have cohort members who are looking at those sorts of things, as well as reading, reading fluency, reading assessment, other areas of reading instruction as well. So each person is researching a different topic and at a different level. What's really amazing about our group of 18 people is we have people across 5 districts in Belize. We have students from Punta Gorda, San Pedro, Dangriga, Orange Walk, Belize City, Belmopan, I mean just all over the country. And we have people at every level of education. We have primary teachers, secondary teachers, school administrators, school principals, tertiary level instructors, Ministry of Education staff. And so that reach is powerful and it's exciting. And they've already been making so many changes in their own practice, in their own spheres of influence, that that's really exciting to see.
So we're quickly running out of time, but I have one final question for any of you. Is there any conversation to work along with the Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology when it comes to changing or placing some of these efforts into the curriculums in primary, secondary, and tertiary level?
Yeah, the Ministry of Education has been very supportive along the way throughout the years, and so I don't think we could have done any of this work without that partnership. And so that's one of the things that we've partnered with a nonprofit organization called Peacework over the years too. We're not currently partnering with them, but having those partnerships with the key stakeholders, it's vital. I don't think you should be doing any work without having voices at the table. And so the Ministry of Education, has always been supportive of the work that we've been doing, and we've really appreciated that throughout the years. And so, I think that the cohort members are already involved in doing the work, like I said, at all of the different levels. And so there's going to be such a wealth of expertise for teachers, students, administrators, educators to draw upon in the future. I'm really excited to see what kinds of activities, what kinds of programs come out of all of this.
I've got 2 more things. I'll definitely come to you guys, but primarily Dr. Jen, how can one be a part of the cohort, and how long is the, what's the duration?
Oh, a doctoral program is a study of passion. You've got to be committed. It's a minimum of 4 years. It takes a lot of people. 5 years. It depends on how long it takes you to do your research. So the cohort is just finishing year 3, so they're finishing their coursework, they're sitting for their exams. Today is their last day of exams.
Congratulations, good luck.
And then they embark on their research. So they have another year and a half, maybe 2 of research to undertake. We started this cohort, this program. We have a degree program that's ongoing, that's perpetual at Oklahoma State University. But we started this cohort because of a need that was expressed from within Belize, from leaders in Belize who said, we really want to continue making literacy a national priority.
Of course.
And we would like to partner with you all in figuring out how we can go, make some progress in that area. And so we were responding to that request and responding to that need. I don't know that this will be an ongoing endeavor. I think when this cohort's done, and I should mention that we have had a previous cohort in around 2012, the first cohort finished, and that was in school administration and leadership. And so this is the first one in literacy. That was the first one in school administration and leadership. So I feel like if the need arises, if somebody comes and has a request and we can partner again in the future, we would consider that and talk about the possibilities. It's a labor of love for our faculty as well, because there's 3 of us here. Dr. Marumba Muavita is our statistician. He teaches the statistics research classes. Dr. Sherry Vicinda is one of our language, literacy, and culture faculty members, and myself. 2 of us are here for the whole month. And so that's a big time commitment away from your families, away from your home. And so we love it, and we we continually learn so much from our cohort members as well. But we don't have plans at the moment for a follow-up cohort. If people come beating down our door, we might reconsider.
All right. And finally for me, with both of you, how so far since you've been a part of this cohort and been a part of the study, how has this changed you and your outlook in terms of how you deliver in your classroom?
Ooh.
Ladies before.
Okay, it has definitely been empowering. It continues to empower me. I try my very best to, as I said before, be that agent, being supportive to educators. And actually, Rashid, myself, and Darlene Lozano, who is another cohort member, we started a group called Educators Supporting Educators. One, because, simply because we want to be a part of the growth of education that takes place in Belize, knowing that we support each other. And so it has impacted me so much that I want to reach out to others in support for education and growth in our country.
I like that a lot.
For me, because of where I teach and the students that are in my care, I grow every day. I want to make sure that what I'm learning from OSU, I actually do it in my classroom. And there are certain things that I've done that the results have been phenomenal. Particularly not because of me, but because how the children respond and how they achieve. So I really, I've grown so much, and I'm realizing that I still have a ways to go. And I'm excited to see what else is out there for me to learn, and to learn from the children and how much they themselves can learn.
Love it.
I don't know if we have time, but I would love to brag on Rashid, because I took 3 groups to St. John's over the years, and he has been a teacher there the whole time, and he just soaked up the instructional practices, the small group guided reading instruction, the use of culturally relevant literature in the classroom, the writing lessons, and applied them with his kids, and became a teacher leader in many ways, in the sense that he trusted the practices enough to try them out, and then he saw the benefits with his students, and then he became an advocate for those practices.
Perfect.
They work.
Excellent.
They work.
But we're so
we're so thankful that you guys are here, and I know you said that there's not a conversation about another cohort, but special needs is something that is definitely a huge problem for us in education. So just tossing that out. But thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we can't wait to see the results. Good luck on your exam and your research and dissertations, and we can't wait to see what you guys put out. So thank you so much.
All right. So we're going to take a break, but I'll tell you what, there's a big question that everybody would ask. Some folks might say, what's going on with COVID? You might hear too much, you might hear less, but the question is what's going on? We'll have the professionals in to tell you exactly what's going on with COVID and give us the numbers when we come back. Stay with us.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
When it comes to cleaning and hygiene, Karcher makes a difference. Available at Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings. It's a cool back to school with tech tools from Cellular World. Beat the heat with the best prices on back to school supplies ever. Phone starts as low as $59, tablets at $155, and Chromebook bundles starts at $549. So come on in and enjoy massive discounts. 1-year warranty on all Samsung Galaxy phones and tablets, and get free SIM card data and bonus credit on selected purchases only at your #1 tech provider, Cellular World. Visit us at our stores in Belize City, Belmopan, and San Pedro, or shop with us online by sending us a message on WhatsApp at 615-5141. Find the perfect back-to-school bundle from July 4th to August 13th, only at Cellular World.
My parents always said, when it's time to build, invest in quality products that last a lifetime, even if it means paying a little more. It is now my turn to invest in my own home, and it's not even a question. It has to be Oran Windows. My contractor recommends Oran because of the heavy-duty construction, the thickest gauge blades on the market, and the dual locks that allow lower louvers to close independently for privacy while the top remains open for airflow. These features make Oran aluminum louver windows the best on the market.
With Oran aluminum louver windows, you get strength, durability, and beauty with an added layer of security and protection against debris and damaging winds. Come in and check out the variety of sizes and colors at Design Depot, located at Mile 3 Philip Goldson Highway in Belize City.
Calling all young performers. It's your turn to take the stage. If you have the talent, we have the show for you. Here's your chance to perform in Belize's #1 children's talent show, Summerfest 2022. Singing, dancing, acting, whatever your talent, we want to see. Come audition on Thursday, August 4th and Friday, August 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at Channel 5 on Coney Drive. Auditions are open to all children under 18 in any performing art. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the show. It's Summerfest 2022.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today. Your Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 4. KTV. Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive at $3 for children and $5 for adults. Mask will be required. Or you can watch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672 5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind the scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Welcome
We're
back.
back.
Welcome back
Yes,
to
yes.
Open Your Eyes, and we're moving now into our second segment for the morning. Now, this is a very important conversation. We are at a point where some folks might not know what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mhm.
Some folks might just know a lot, and they ask the question, what's happening with COVID?
Yes.
Now, in to talk to us more about it, we've got reps from the Ministry of Health. We've got Ms. Mayra Pinello Fernandez, National Surveillance Officer, Epidemiology Unit at the Ministry of Health, and also Dr. Natalia Beer. She's in with us, Technical Advisor for the Maternal and Child Health Care at MOH. Guys, good morning and welcome.
Morning.
All right, so there we go.
So, for Dr. Bear, one of the key questions, we keep getting the news updates, right? We see them on the government press, we see them on the media and so forth when it comes to active cases, people that are you know, that they have the COVID-19 virus, but we also tend to kind of put it on the back burner because now all regulations and restrictions are out, right? So now everybody's just doing a free-for-all. So can you give us the latest statistics on active cases, people that are being hospitalized, if there are any deaths and so forth? And please feel free to speak candid about these sort of situations.
Ms. Pinello? It's Ms. Pinello.
Yes. Yes, no problem. In terms of deaths, we have seen a decrease, of course, because one of vaccination status, and two, because we are at a point where we are seeing a decrease in cases or transmission of COVID at this point in time. So just to give you an overview of our deaths for the past, since the beginning of the pandemic, we see, for example, in the month of June, we have only had 2 deaths as compared to the beginning of the year. In February, we had 29 deaths that were registered.
Wow.
So that has been a big decrease for us. In April of this year, we did not have any deaths recorded due to COVID. So for us at the ministry, really, it is, in terms of numbers, then we are looking at a really big decrease when it comes to deaths. When it comes to hospitalization now, for the beginning of the year in January 11, for example, we had 20 persons hospitalized and 3 of those persons in the intensive care unit. Presently, up to yesterday, we had only 3 persons hospitalized and nobody in intensive care unit.
All right. So let me get to Dr. Beer. Dr. Beer, what's the situation, the current situation in the country with respect to the pandemic? We know that the BA5 has been detected in the country. What's the current situation, the status as we speak?
I think Dr. Diaz, our Director of Public Health and Wellness, have shared earlier in an interview that the majority of the samples that were tested for sequencing, the BA5 is confirmed in Belize, and at that moment, well, BA2 was the one that is most common, but we have both circulating currently in Belize, BA2 and BA5.
And with respect to not hospitalization, but when it comes to the duration of contagion and from whence contracting the virus to testing negative, how are we there? At the onset of the pandemic, it was about 2 weeks. Where are we at this point?
I think the measurements that the government have put in place depends on the data, precisely like what Ms. Pinello was sharing with us. Based on the data is how we make decisions. So a lot of the public health measures have been lifted, but the virus and the SARS-CoV-2 virus in the different variants are present in Belize, so we can't forget that. So the individual responsibility continues to be one of the cornerstone of the dealing with the pandemic of the COVID-19. So although it is not mandated that we use face masks, we still encourage, use your face mask as much as possible. Avoid crowds. Physical distancing is one of the most difficult things to comply with. So if the infected person, even asymptomatic, have on their mask, and the next person that is not infected have on their mask, the transmission is almost nil. And we have been saying this from the beginning. So although they are not seeing the number of cases that we saw during the Delta wave or the Omicron wave, the risk is always there, and especially if you are not vaccinated. We shared a few weeks ago the risk of complicating and dying from COVID-19 is 24 times higher among unvaccinated persons.
When you talk about vaccination, Dr. Beer, can you give us an update on vaccines? And have we received new Pfizer vaccines, new Moderna and so forth vaccines in the country? What about boosters? And can you give us also an update on the children's vaccine as well, and how many people are actually getting vaccinated?
Yes, well, the government of Belize continue to seek support from countries that can donate to Belize COVID-19 vaccines. And we must big up, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs supporting the government and the Ministry of Health and Wellness to access vaccines. To date, we have 227,786 persons with first dose, and that is equal to 52.9%. And second dose or complete primary series is 218,276, and that put us at 50.7%. Not where we would like to be today, but so we have 25% more that we need to get vaccinated. For the children, 5 to 11, the target population is 73,000. And so far we have 11,000 or 15% that receive first dose and 5,687 who receive second dose with 7.8%. So we are pretty low with kids 5 to 11. We want to encourage parents to make much of the summer break to get their kids vaccinated so that they can be protected before the beginning of the new school year.
And let's talk about how they're able to go on out to get to take their children to go and get vaccinated. Do they just go to a site? Do they have to make an appointment? What do they have to do? Parents, what do parents need to do to take their children for a vaccine?
Yes, and for parents taking their children to get vaccinated, and for any other person interested in getting vaccinated, there is no need for appointment. One just need to show up to the vaccination site nearest to their home, and then they will get vaccinated there.
Let's talk about testing. Are people going out to get, are we seeing a lot of testing being done? There are mass gatherings across the country. There are no restrictions at this particular point, but the numbers aren't as high as we used to see it. What do you think is going on there?
In regards to the testing, well, testing is available at all hospitals and at the primary care facilities, and those that have the flu clinics open, the test is readily available. And yes, the numbers are not that high right now, but the test is available. So anyone that feel that they may come in contact with a positive person or have signs and symptoms compatible with COVID-19, the test is readily available for them.
As we're seeing the cases kind of fluctuate up and down depending on the amount of mass gathering that is taking place in the country and so forth. Do you think that with another variant or another strain of the COVID-19 virus that there would be a need to place regulations once again on the country, especially at least with the mask mandates?
There are, we use data to make decisions, so it's uncertain at this moment to reply to that question. I would say no, exactly, no? We have to wait and see how the pandemic behaves in Belize using the data. So if we continue getting vaccinated, the less we can expect to go back to those public health measures. Some of them were drastic and people don't like it, but we have to think of the population and how to protect them. So again, individual responsibility. This is a disease that is transmitted from person to person. So every person have to chip in with maintaining physical distance, difficult, wearing face masks, getting vaccinated.
How often does the Ministry of Health consult with various other ministries, for example, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Education, and so forth, just to give them that insight on where we are with COVID-19 and perhaps to help them make decisions for certain large events and large gatherings?
I think the one of the good things that Belize have in place is that the decisions on COVID-19 is taken at the highest level. No? Again, we use the data that is shared at the level of the cabinet, and all the different sectors, ministries are represented there. So everyone is participating in that decision making. So I think that is it's good, no?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get Myra once again back into it. We are looking at some of the charts that that were sent to us, and COVID-19 cases in the Belize district seems to be higher. Tell us where we could find the most cases and where we're seeing a stabilization of things, or if there's a rise in different districts. Can you share that data with us, please?
Do you have the graph that I showed you overall in terms of where we are in the wave? Can you share that one first?
All right. So we'll be getting that up for you in just a few. But we know that people will be flocking to various areas of the country, and it happens on a weekly basis.
Yes.
Whereby people go maybe home to Toledo or to work in Corozal, but they might not know what the data is showing in these areas and how to carry themselves. Because some folks might say, I don't want to wear a mask, man, or I'm not around a lot of people, when in reality, we should all be wearing a mask. So let's talk about that that data. We'll be sharing that with you in just a few. As soon as
what we're seeing, if we look at the data for yesterday, we have a total of 19 new cases, right? But we also see that the cases are really, if we look at it in terms of total numbers or whole numbers, we are seeing Belize City and Orange Walk as the two districts with the highest number of cases reported. But when we look at it in terms of the rate of transmission, we're seeing that the Belize district is really not, has passed that threshold in terms of we looking at the numbers of people being infected per se. So we are looking more at districts like, for example, Corozal, and we have Toledo districts where we still see an increase on what we would consider normal when it comes to looking at the data statistically as opposed to looking at it on a whole or on a daily basis. But to add to it and to what Dr. Beer had mentioned, really we cannot forget our public health measures that can never be understated. I mean, people have to keep reminding themselves that it doesn't matter how high or how low the cases are in these areas, they have to protect themselves. So again, like what Dr. Musa mentioned in an interview, I mean, we have to be cognizant of the fact that we have to be responsible for what's going on in our surroundings. So if we're in a crowded area, of course, we ensure that we wear a mask, or make it a habit to wear a mask when we enter environments that are enclosed, as opposed to having to wait for government to say, you need to do this, you need to do that. So really, it's more of a personal responsibility at this point in time. We monitor the data based on information that we receive, but this might not always be a true representation of what's happening out there.
Right.
And similarly, we're seeing cases, for example, we might see 24 cases in Orange Walk, but we might see maybe 8 cases in Stann Creek, but maybe these 8 cases are clustered in one specific area and really not widespread. So there is always more to data than what we're just looking at. So again, it's just to give the public an idea as to what is going on in the country, but at the same time, it comes back to personal responsibility.
Yeah, you're totally right. I'm looking at the data for from 1st March 2020 to 22nd July 2022, and I'm seeing the 4th wave with some serious levels. But the 4th wave is actually way less and nearly around the same level as the 3rd wave. Even though that we're totally open, where everybody could go everywhere. This seems like there is a certain or a different pattern with the virus as we speak. Can you elaborate more on that for us, please?
Do you remember the question you had asked Dr. Bear in terms of incubation period for the disease?
Right.
Yes.
Well, really the graph helps us to tell a lot about what's really happening.
Okay.
When we look at the beginning of the pandemic and when we had the original COVID, we're looking at incubation periods really being wider, 7 to 14 days.
Yes.
But as the variants came, we saw the incubation periods really decreasing. So right now, looking at the data and what we're seeing is really we're seeing shorter incubation periods, 3 to 4 days, and we're also seeing people getting reinfected faster than before. So really, what we're seeing right now is, yes, we just finished our one peak. We're really to the point where we could say that we are in a downward trend. But just like how we're at a downward trend, it seems as though the transmission does not stop, and we start another one.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the peaks are getting higher and they're also getting shorter.
Yes.
An hour, as opposed to the other ones that are more wider. And again, that reflects in terms of incubation periods. So they really, it's getting shorter and shorter, and incubation periods are getting shorter. So hence, again, the transmission from person to person, and again, personal responsibility is what we have to keep re-emphasizing or stressing to the public, because if I'm wearing a mask, but you're not wearing a mask, then really I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. You said something very important there in terms of reinfection, and I'd like to go to Dr. Beer with this one. If I was, if I tested, I had the virus week before, and this week I tested negative. When can I go in? And maybe I haven't received my booster, or I maybe have received my booster. If I am somebody with underlying condition, at what point can I go in for my second booster?
The booster, we are recommending 3 months after receiving the first booster. You get the second booster.
Okay.
And let's say I was infected with COVID right after the 3 months again, and I need to take the second booster. So when would be a good time for me to take the second booster after I've already been infected with COVID?
Yeah, the recommendations still stand. When a person have COVID-19, they need to wait 1 month to get vaccinated, be it first dose, be it that they meet the timing for the second dose, be it first booster, or they met the timing for the booster. So 1 month after, they need to check with their healthcare provider if they're ready to receive first, second, or booster.
Speaking of booster, the last time, well, I could remember having a conversation with the ministry. We were at the point whereby we were trying to get people to go on out to get their second booster. We're talking here frontline workers, we're talking people with underlying conditions, and people 60 years and older. Is that the case now, or anybody at this particular point who've received a booster, are they able to go on out to get a second booster?
But we're encouraging persons, as you mentioned, older than 60 years, persons with underlying conditions, healthcare workers, but we are not denying for any person showing up requesting booster dose.
All right.
And those are available at all of the vaccine sites.
All right. It sounds like clarity there. And that's one of the, these are some of the questions that folks have been asking because they just want to know.
Yeah.
Now, also, Dr. Beer, there are some folks who may have had the first dose and just said, you know what, I am not going to take the second dose. Notice that somebody in the family might have dropped with COVID, got severely ill 6 to 8 months afterwards. Am I able to go and get the second dose? Would it still be a second dose, or am I starting fresh all over again?
There is no clear recommendation right now for restarting the vaccination. So we would count it as second dose, and we would highly encourage for them to get booster doses.
All right. Well, I think you've you guys have definitely relayed clarity for us with respect to this pandemic. Is there any other thing that you'd like to share with us with respect to COVID?
I would like to encourage the population. There are some diseases, like COVID-19, where the evidence is there. If you are vaccinated and you get infected with COVID-19, the disease will behave mildly. You may have symptoms, or you may not have symptoms. And if you have symptoms, it will be like just having cough and cold. But nonetheless, it is COVID-19. And COVID-19 is not like a common cough and cold. It's present in many organs in the body. And so why expose ourselves to that now when we can be prevented with vaccines? So, and the next issue I would like to remind the public is that we have been blessed in receiving donations from countries. And we have enough vaccines right now to vaccinate almost 100% of children 5 to 11 years.
Okay.
This vaccine will expire in September, so we have a little bit of time. So that's why we're encouraging the parents to please come out and get your child vaccinated before the beginning of the school year. Children will be in school. Maintaining physical distance among children is difficult. Wearing face masks, I'm sure every parent will encourage their child, but children are children and they want to be close to their peers. So if you vaccinate your child before the beginning of the school year, then you have a better chance of not getting infected in school.
Totally. Dr. Beer, I can't let you go without asking about the current situation that we know is very close. There in Mexico, as a matter of fact, in Quintana Roo, Mexico. We're talking about the monkeypox. We've seen a case there in Jamaica. So we know that it's starting to surround us. What is the ministry doing at this point to try and safeguard us here at home?
I think the most important thing, and Ms. Myra could expand on this, the surveillance system. We need to train the staff in public and private, which we are doing, on how to identify the cases and to strengthen the surveillance system. And that is what will help us detect the first case and contain and apply the different public health measures to help reducing the risk for spread.
I could remember also at the onset of the pandemic, we had a representative, if I'm not mistaken, you were on as well, but I think, or as a matter of fact, no, it was Dr. Manzanero. But Dr. Beer, you know, from your professionalism, would you classify us here at home with the monkeypox situation that's going on across the world now, if or a when situation? Are you able to tell us if you feel if it's an if we get it or a when we get it?
Well, if we have no flights to Belize and no persons from abroad entering the country, we would be in a better position. But every flight is a risk of someone coming in with monkeypox, and we fly a lot, folks, no?
Yeah,
like,
So it's a win.
It's a win.
It's a win.
I would just like to add it's a win.
Okay, all right.
Well, you heard it here,
Just
folks. Yes,
just
go
to
ahead.
add to what Dr. Beer had mentioned in terms of monkeypox, yes, we have our surveillance teams and focal points within the regions that rapidly respond to any type of rumors. Recently this week, we had a rumor really that we had to act upon, and we have the support from our director, Dr. Musa, and has always been there with us to support, and we responded quickly, and so far, information that we got is really that of a chickenpox case as opposed to anything else. So it's something that has to be monitored, but yes, we have the teams there ready, and we could say that we are not 100% ready, but we are more than halfway there.
Yeah.
And the initiatives have started already. The trainings within the regions have already started. And so we are better prepared than we were probably when the pandemic just started for monkeypox in the other regions.
Yeah.
Well,
at least we're getting somewhere, and that's the point. All right. So we're so thankful, Ms. Myra Pinello Fernandez, and of course, Dr. Natalia Beer. We're so thankful that you guys could have joined us this morning to share with us the latest on COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. April, guess what we've got coming up next?
Last segment.
It's the last segment, and it's all about the Woodstock Benefit Concert. How can you be a part of it? When is it going to be? Where is it going to be? We've got the folks in to tell us all about it when we come back. Stay with us.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph. Here Jehovah God is described as a warrior who has defeated the nations in Canaan and divided the land among his people. Shechem is described as a chief city, Ephraim being strong as his helmet, Judah being the royal tribe is bearing his scepter, but Moab is chosen as his washpot or wash basin. Moab was nothing but a washpot or a basin, something contemptible and despicable, yet there was a use for Moab. To wash the feet was the office of a slave, and in every home the guest was greeted by a servant with a basin of water to wash and refresh their feet, or a basin for soldiers coming from the battlefield. It was not the most desirable position and profession to have. Moab was aware of her dark background and incestuous birth due to a drunken father and the curse placed upon her because of it. But she was not ruled out from service to God, even if it meant being God's washpot. But she was not alone. Can we not but remember that poor sinful woman who came where Jesus was and stood at his feet behind him weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet and anointed them with precious ointment? Blessed are those who share Moab's story, but who serve and honor God in an humble and insignificant place and become washpots for a dirty world. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new SmartStream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, SmartStream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with SmartStream.
Keep still now.
Ouch.
I tell you no move.
Wow. You really can't get a mannequin for this, man? Really?
Well, son, if I never lend you the $2,000 to buy the kids' computer and the book, I may have the money for buy my mannequin.
It's definitely better to borrow from the bank than from your friends or relatives. This way, all you owe is money.
Would you like me to turn around?
That would be good. Turn on, turn on, turn on.
Take advantage of the back-to-school promotion currently being offered by the Belize Bank.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we're moving now into our third and final segment for the morning. Now this one is all about, how do you say it, Woodcock Stock Benefit Concert. It's actually Hope for Belize, and just by the energy this lady brought into the studio, we know for a fact that there is actually hope for Belize.
It's a passion project.
She's in with us. She's none other than Tammy Musk Flatch Tucker.
Yes.
She's the founder of Woodcock Stock Belize. Tammy T. Tammy T with a lot of energy.
Tammy T.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad you guys had me in because I know this is a big event that really manifested because of COVID.
Okay.
It manifested from the hardships my husband have gone through, the things we've lost and being homeless last year for a bit. And I realized what a privilege I had, and I could snap my fingers and go back to the States. But there was no, I couldn't even help my own husband.
Yeah.
So when we sat back and thought about how are we going to rebuild our life after COVID took everything, everything. we couldn't rebuild our life without trying to help other
Other
people
people.
eat, because
Mhm.
I don't want to go to bed, because
Yeah.
I can go make the money and I can come back and
Yeah.
restart. But when I go to bed at night, I know I have friends that aren't eating.
Yeah.
You know, because I go to their house and there's not an egg, there's not a piece of bread.
Yeah.
And this isn't just friends. I mean, these are like family members. During COVID, we were in lockdown. Somebody bring home a chicken, we're like, oh yes, I'll cook the chicken.
Yeah.
You know, somebody brought the beans and I'm like, I'll cook the beans. Next thing I knew, I was cooking and I was on strike. I was like, what happened here? But hey, if you bring me food, I'm gonna cook.
Yes.
But I realized how
Tell
a
me.
community had to feed each other.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that concept and realized even my own country, as we get older, we're so disconnected. We don't even have our elderly living with us. And so there's so many things from this culture through the hardships that I learned that I think both countries could benefit. So
Yeah. So, you know, your lenteojos, your shades, you could put it right here because, yeah, we want to make sure that we get the best picture of you.
okay. Yeah.
So the concept of woodcock stock,
Yes.
what is that? Like, what is woodcock stock?
Well, everybody knows Woodstock, right? Woodstock was 3
I think it's a
days.
cartoon, if I'm not mistaken. I remember
No, it's a
Woodstock.
music concert in the middle of a field
Oh.
in New York that was miles long of traffic. It was mud. It was chaos. There was people. That's when they flew in Jimi Hendrix and
Oh.
Janis Joplin. And it was chaos and not 1 ounce of violence or anything
Excellent.
for 3 days. And
That's
I said,
wonderful.
what better place to bring back the concept of Woodstock, Key Cocker style.
Yeah.
Woodcock stock, and there's woodcock bird. So if you look at our poster, there's a bird. It's
Yeah.
a woodcock.
That's the bird from Snoopy.
Well, they said that we had talked about that because I think that bird was the woodcock bird originally. So
So I want to talk about the themes and the different
Yes.
venues for a bit because, you know, a lot of this is a kind of new to
Yes.
Belizean culture
Yes.
in certain aspects. So tell us how you are going to incorporate these themes into a Belizean context.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we're doing. Every day there's a beach party,
Okay.
and that's at the Reef. So now we have barbers coming in, giving free haircuts for the kids. I have a Belizean young man that I worked with a few years ago who has just blossomed, and now he's taken over the whole games, and he's actually wanting to spearhead a Christmas box food program and gifts for the, I mean, it's just amazing all the people that said, hey, let me you know,
help.
come along. One of the musicians coming has 3 daughters not in school right now because birth papers are $300 per person. So people are asking, where's this money going? Well, there's a list already. I mean, people are coming in going, I need $900 to get birth papers, and that's not even tuition. That's not even their books. That's not even their clothes.
Yeah.
So there's all of these little things that we're hoping on a lower scale to really help. We have struggled with our own, you know, child maintenance for our stepson. I mean, we have not had well, actually, we haven't had a house, and when we have sometimes not electricity, like the rest of us. So I just figured I've done these events in the States. I've been an event coordinator for 15 years, doing the PTA, the church carnival, and I thought, why not just put eyes on us? And so we're incorporating all these restaurants at night because we want to showcase to the world. This is a small little island and you can come. So Sunset Pelican, Gilligan's Island, dress up. Free costumes, it's free, just show up.
Oh my God.
And so
Love
we have snorkeling trips valued at $330. They're just gifts and given.
Yeah.
The Belizean people, we didn't market a long time, but really this was to celebrate my friends and my family and what everybody went through with COVID.
Yeah.
And all my friends back there that are bored in the US that want to watch entertainment. I mean, who wants to watch, you know,
Well, you could be right here.
Mediterranean on the water shows reality. Come and we want to just showcase the entire island. We have Food Republic that is going to be doing a special breakfast every morning. You can have breakfast with the musicians, and then there's music and games, and
This is a week of
it's all week. So every day at the Reef View, 11 to 3, we've got yoga in the morning in front of Juicy Free. One of the ladies is just going to come and just sit and just meditate. Just start your day and find your happy. Then you can tackle the day, because it is hard to tackle the day when you're working. I mean, it's hard. It
is.
So part of the problem, what I tell people, is you have to start the day. I know sometimes even a half hour earlier, and it's so hard here because I see the people going and working the 12-hour days, 6 days a week, and I know what they're coming home, and I can't survive off. My husband and I cannot survive off of it, but I do have a gift that I can go back.
Yeah.
But that doesn't solve all of our problems here, because once I stop working there, I come here, and so literally we took a gamble. And we decided that we wanted to help everybody. We're struggling to pay our son's stepson's school fees this fall and his uniform. But we figured we could make a big project and help everybody while we're doing the same.
It could be everybody doing that help. Be
Everybody,
our brother's
right.
keeper.
I have friends that want to see the kids. Where's the money going to go? So when we go into the jungle, my husband and I have dreamt for years of loading up backpacks and going to Manatee, you know, around Coastal. And just pulling in with the backpacks and all the art supplies and just giving them what
they need.
What we take in the US is for granted.
So basically what you're doing right now is
And
that
a
you're
charity,
channeling the fact that you were once at a particular spot, knowing that a lot of people are at that particular spot.
Yes.
But we're getting everybody to help each other
Yes.
here. So this concert, this week of concert is
All
going to
next
be
week.
when?
It'll actually kick off on Monday. So we're going live. We'll have a live feed link. We've been working on everything. We're going to kick it off over at BTB because some of our musicians are over there. So we're going to cover all the shenanigans and go, this is Amber Gay's Key. It's busy New York. Now, after the craziness, we go to Key Cocker where the motto is go slow. And we're going to sit and have beach parties and music all day. And then every night, different venue, different costume party, and lots of prizes. And then Friday, you know, we're just going to have all the musicians that are there just kind of co-collaborate. We want them to, music is healing. So they said, we never get to play and sit with each other. So they're excited that they're not playing super late, that they can go back and just play music and, you know, see what they can co-collaborate. You know, look at what Nelly and Tim McGraw did, right?
I know, right?
We just got to get these guys. So we've got Cooper Greer, who's coming from the U.S. He actually just landed the other day. He's traveling San Ignacio, and so they're going to hit the island. And so we got a hoedown Wednesday night when he plays. You got to dress up country style. So we're just looking forward to really showcasing the island and the people and the happy and giving to each other.
I like the idea of different themes and having that. It's different.
Yes.
It's different. I want to talk about your collaborators, the people that are coming, the Belizean artists that are coming, the people that are providing food. Is there anything else that everybody else is providing? Anybody else is providing?
Everybody's kind of just chipping in. So we're working with another company on the island, and what we're trying to do is bring a boat and then have the musicians performing. But then again, we're promoting the company, everybody, the snorkeling trips, all of it. We really want to showcase to the world. But see, the one thing I know is most Belizeans can't afford those things. So this is where they get to dress up and they get to win those snorkeling trips. Who can afford $330? I don't go snorkeling unless we have, you know, work that's related to it. But, you know, I know what the struggles are. So many Belizeans have not enjoyed their own country.
That's true.
So if we can take eyes and start here and then going into the jungle and taking backpacks, because everybody says, where's the money going? We've got a long list, and during that week, we're going to interview the young boy. He's coming for the week. He's in the city here. He's going to come and oversee the games. I'm going to let him tell his story. I'll let the musician tell his story. These are just people that are coming together, and I want people to see where it's going. And then the big question people have asked, well, where do you get paid? I said afterwards. We are a travel agency, you know, for Belize, based out of Wisconsin. I promote and bring people down here, and then we just bring them around and let them. And once we can basically show the island off, it's like Gilligan's Island, Fantasy Island. It's safe. And so we have a tourism business, and we're hoping that just opening the eyes is going to help us. Not to mention already being able to link up with some of the other business owners so that now we can do even better packages for our
You did mention that you know that there'll be some live streaming going on.
Yes.
Will there be an area of that live stream whereby you could pledge, because this is actually a support? So what's the name of the site, or what's the link? How will people be able to see?
The website that we have right now is woodcockstock.com, and there's already a donation link on there. Thank you, Jay Gold, for making our first $10 donation. We haven't been promoting it because we're getting everything still, literally getting things ready, adding musicians. But when we go live on Saturday, what we're asking for people anywhere in the world, if you're, I mean, come on, fansonly.com, you'll pay $5 to see toes. Come on, people. If you want to see what everybody's doing here, $5. That adds up. If you want to see their toes, I'll even film their toes.
That's true.
But I mean, if they want to see us, why not appreciate and then send it into a fund? And so you'll see right on the website, our first $10 donation, you'll see it as it goes up.
Yeah.
And then the good thing is when it's all done, we're just super excited because there's really people waiting almost for the day after going, I need to get my registration for the kids.
Yeah.
So we really want to keep eyes on us and be transparent. I do know that, there's a lot of skepticism in the world. And really, my husband and I just wanted to be able to know that if we're rebuilding our life, that we're helping people along the way, because then we can sleep better at night.
Because together we can, Tammy.
This last year has been the worst year of our life, and we have lost everything, but starting over, we decided to invest in this first before we would move on with our personal stuff.
Tammy, you are an inspiration. I could tell you that much. And we're actually seeing that. You're channeling that energy.
Thank you.
Next week, it's going to be a flawless week for you guys. It's going to be great.
It's so fun. There's people flying in. I'll help. I've got a sponsor coming in from Idaho with, visors, woodcock stock. Well, hopefully hopefully they made it. They were, you know how that is. It's like, hopefully it's here. But I mean, we have great things. And like I said, you don't have to pay to enter anything. This is to celebrate and then to let other people support us. Because if we don't build a bridge for support, we're going to have a lot of kids that aren't going to school because it's worse than it's ever been. And I used to be a teacher, and I cannot sit and watch, the kids not go to school. And so hopefully we'll be sending a lot more kids to school this fall.
Best of luck to you, and we hope we can watch the live stream, and
watch
see
the live stream. Yes, we're going to test that out, but everything looks like it's all good. So by
woodcockstock.com.
All right.
Thank you so much, Tammy, for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So I look forward to anybody coming next week, and if anybody wants to contact for help, we are still looking for a few sponsors. I still need a room or two. You can contact us at woodcockstock.com, or you could get the Facebook page. There's all sorts of stuff coming out. You should be able to find us.
Well, thank you, Tammy.
Thank you,
and we hope that you get that support that you need. With that, we're going to take our final break, and we'll be back for a wrap-up, so stay tuned.
It's almost lunchtime and Alice is getting hungry and forgot to bring cash. She remembers that eCash now has a geolocation feature in which she can easily view the eCash merchants near her, especially restaurants. Her co-workers also ask her to order food for them.
Chicken chow mein, please, and a Coke.
The merchant sends her the payment link. She taps confirm, and within a few minutes, her food is delivered. Alice then views her transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made. Then taps the split the bill button, where she selects the unevenly option and moves the bar to the desired amount per person. The request is then sent to her friends. Her colleagues accept the request and are ready to enjoy their meals. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash make Alice's life a whole lot easier.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package include 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Calling all young performers. It's your turn to take the stage. If you have the talent, we have the show for you. Here's your chance to perform in Belize's #1 children's talent show, Summerfest 2022. Singing, dancing, acting, whatever your talent, we want to see. Come audition on Thursday, August 4th and Friday, August 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at Channel 5 on Coney Drive. Auditions are open to all children under 18 in any performing art. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the show. It's Summerfest 2022.
We're back. Just like that, we've come to the end of the show for today. We had a great time. Tell you what, it's always a great time as long as we've got you with us. We had a great conversation starting off with building literacy, leadership in Belize. You know, there are 2 students who joined us along with their professor who joined us and to tell us all about, you know, the educational aspect and what they're going through and how they could make a difference right there at the school that they're teaching and across the country.
I love
Great
it.
conversation.
Definitely. And of course, our second conversation, we had those from the Ministry of Health, Dr. Natalia Beer and Ms. Myra Pinello Fernandez, talking to us about what's really happening in the country with COVID. And I know that we all feel like it's gone because the regulations are gone, but it's not. You know, you still wear your mask, you still see cases rising daily, well, fluctuating, rising and going down. So no, you have to be able to still be on your toes and hear the updates from the experts.
Definitely. And a big thank you to Tammy Musk, Flatch, Tucker. Man,
she got more names than you and me, friend.
But it was a great time sitting down with her. The Woodcock Stock Benefit Concert comes up next week. It's going to be all week long. They want for you to go on out there, enjoy yourself at Keycocker. And, you know, they've got lots to offer in Keycocker.
I really appreciate this benefit because it's like what you rightfully said, John, it's us taking care of each other. You know, it's not for any big corporation or anything like that. It's really and truly, I want to help my friend, and so I want to raise some funds to help my friend.
Definitely.
And there you go.
And this is what it's like. Let's be our brother's keeper. Let's continue to, you know, grow each other. You know, teach each other new things and be that kind person that we are to each other. Channel positive energy to the people we feel or to everybody that we meet. It's important to do that. It is important. You know? So we do hope that you enjoyed this morning. It was a great time. Let me see if there's a birthday shout out. No, there's not. I'll tell you what, I got 2 names.
Of course you do, because John always got birthday shout out.
I've got to say a big happy birthday to my Rotary sister, Evelyn. Today is her birthday of Rotary Sunrise. That's my crew. Wishing you all the very best from all your Rotary brothers and sisters from your Rotary family. Wishing you a happy birthday to you.
Aww.
And finally, my brother from
Anadamara?
Yeah, from King Hatchet was a hammer. From the Dead Sea, me only critical. My breads. Anthony Bones Lambe down in Punta Gorda. This guy, man. Everybody know Bones a PG. He's a barber. And he is well loved throughout the community there in Punta Gorda. His birthday was yesterday. Bro, we love you. Wishing you all the very best as well. And keep reaching for the stars as per usual, all right? Anthony Bones Lambe. And we'll give out the 2 words to you. And for you there at home, without you, this is not possible. You actually wake up, you open your eyes, and you started your morning right with us. If you've got questions, concerns, or birthday shout-outs, send us a line at oye@channel5belize.com. Or,
of course, you can always catch us on our live stream on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, or check out all of the highlights from our show on Instagram at OYE Belize.
All right, and you can join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes.
And you start your morning, right?
As per usual, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
We're going to see you soon. Make sure that you enjoy your day. It's a beautiful Wednesday.
It's a wet Wednesday.
And do enjoy. Make sure that you've got a positive mind. And I'm going to leave you again with what V had sent us this morning. It's Wednesday. You're breathing, you're healthy, you're truly blessed. And be grateful for another day. V, thank you. What you got?
My one says, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Remember, every setback is a setup for a greater comeback.
My gosh.
V with the lyrics.
V, yeah. I tell you what, great lyrics, V. But Belize, do enjoy your day. We're going to see you again tomorrow.
Bye, Belize.
Bye-bye.
My thoughts are with you, holding hands with your heart to see you. Only blue talking love, remember how we knew love was there to stay. Now December, from the love we shared in September. Oh, I think they got the alias that you've been living under, but you really don't remember. Was it something that they've said, or the voices in your head calling Gloria? Calling Gloria.
It's my last chance for romance tonight. Whoa, I need you by me, beside me, to guide me, to hold me, to scold me. Cause when I'm bad, I'm so bad. So let's dance, the last dance. So let's dance, the last dance.
Under the bliss light, I seen this being set, a night for romance, a night you won't forget. So come join the fun, this ain't no time to be staying home. Ooh, there's too much going on. Oh, tonight is gonna be a night like you never know. We're gonna have a good time the whole night long. Come on, sing it out. I dance until the morning light.
My baby may not be rich, he watching every time, but he loves me, loves me, loves me. We always have a real good time. And maybe he sings off key, but that's alright with me. Cause what he does so well, makes me wanna yell. Let's hear it for the boy. Let's give the boy a hand.
Gone, looking out for another. Anyone will do. You're in the mood for a dance. And when you get that chance, you are a dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Dancing queen, feel a beat from the tambourine, oh yeah. This is the end. You made your choice and now my chance is over. I thought I was in. You put me down and say I'm going nowhere. Save me, darling. I am down, but I
want a winning hand, cause I'm a brick house. I'm mighty, mighty, just letting it all get out. Yeah, I'm a brick house. I'm not a lazy slack, and that's a fact. I ain't holding nothing back. I'm a brick house. Yes, I'm the one, the only one who built like his Amazon. The clothes I wear, my sexy ways, make his whole friend wish for younger days. Yeah, yes.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.